Hey everyone, we are back with another DaemonClaw update video, and with me as always is Corey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
I've been really busy, so we've all been really busy, but lately what's been going on is for the PC version, I haven't touched that directly other than I finished cleaning up the bust for the character select / main title screen for the PC version. We've not revealed the second playable character yet, but that is all cleaned up. That's one of the initial steps of adding the second playable character. And then otherwise, for the Steam version, what I've been doing is working on actual native support for the Steam Deck, and it should also just be native support for general Linux. I think Ubuntu specifically, but it might work on many other flavors of Linux. And then Steam machines and Steam Deck. Specifically, what I've been working on has been the emulation wrappers for Neo Geo and Mega Drive, not just making them work well, not just with DaemonClaw, but any of our future games on Linux, but I've actually simultaneously been improving the user interface for the emulation wrappers, making them all behave the same and a nice easy interface flow, and especially the button mapping, making that way easier, where it's just like in the really good emulators where you tell it you want to map your buttons and it just prompts you to press up, then down, then left, right, etc. each button, and it's just mapping it exactly how you want it. So all that is working. So I've done Neo Geo, Mega Drive, and Amiga for future things coming up. Obviously, Metro Siege, there will be other Amiga games in the future. An Amiga version of DaemonClaw is definitely planned, and there is also eventually Aeon's Legend. Yeah, I've been making really good progress with that, and hopefully, certainly by the time of the next update video, hopefully within like a week roughly from when you see this video, there should be a new update on DaemonClaw for Steam that is specifically Linux, and specifically if you are on your Steam Deck, it should automatically download that version to replace the Windows version that we were just telling people to use with Proton Hotfix, which only was kind of half working. So that'll be a huge improvement, and you'll be able to play the modern version and the Mega Drive version for now.
Another side note, for the art book, you talked about the playable character we haven't revealed yet that's going to be in the PC widescreen edition of the game. And just so you guys know, that character is featured in the art book, so there's some really beautiful artwork for it making its way in there. So
yeah, that was actually the biggest reason I suddenly had to finish cleaning up that
exactly
right away, because it can stay placeholder for a long time while we work on integrating the second playable character into the PC version, but the art book can't wait that long, so like we need the finished art for the things that need to go into the art book. So, and the other thing for the art book, speaking of that, is that I've been working on several of the bosses. There's a page dedicated to the bosses of each level, and I had already done a long time ago an illustration of the level 1 boss in a slightly sketchy but American comic book style, where you pencil it, then ink it, then color it. And so I needed to do the same illustration style for 3 of the other bosses. So this is my favorite of the 3, just as an illustration. It was kind of the most fun to do. This is very easy to do because even though it's not human skin, it's similar. You can do a lot of cross-hatching and things like that. The other one that was interesting was the Ram boss, who I didn't bother finishing his lower legs because in the art book it's going to be cropped sort of like that. So the interesting thing about this one is he's covered in woolly fur. So the only way to hint at shading is to use the texture of the woolly fur. So that was interesting. It's the first time I ever illustrated a character like this, other than pixel art or digital, or a painting, like an actual paint on a canvas, with woolly fur. And it was interesting to have to not crosshatch in a traditional sense and use the texture of the fur to darken areas, which ties in with the conversation Corey and I have had in the past about dithering and how dithering adds texture. So you should use specific textures of dithering based on the texture of the thing you are illustrating or rendering with the pixels final one, which is the weakest as far as line art, because like this one has to, because of the nature of the textures. You have to kind of rely on the coloring for most of the shading to get that like smooth wet look really well. And then there will be water, of course, where there's all that blank. I didn't want a black outline for every little ripple and reflection in the water. I'll do all that part with pure color. And in regard to those illustrations, I did record myself actually real speed. You could tell it's excruciatingly not time-lapse. But the reason I did that is I figured it would be kind of cool for you Kickstarter backers who are watching this. I'm going to give you the links for these videos, but otherwise our Patreon patrons, and if anyone becomes a member on our YouTube channel, you can watch the full, like, actual speed. This is the speed I work at. Yes, that is the goofy, weird way that I hold a pen or a pencil in my left hand. But you could see the process. And then at the end, it's got like the finished illustration to look at. And I'm doing the same exact thing with the coloring process. So if you want to see how it ends up, the colored version that again are going into the DaemonClaw art book, then check out these videos. And again, you Kickstarter backers, just look in the text part of this update and you will find the links to these videos. Otherwise, YouTube members or Patreon patrons will be able to get these. And of course, I'll make time-lapsed short videos of the process in the coming days, or at the very latest next week. Speaking of the printed stuff, if I didn't say in this update yet, I'm starting communication today with the 2 different printing companies to get the ball rolling, to say this is an official order, and tomorrow I'm going to be sending them not the final files, but files to say, is this the right format? Is this exactly what you need to get that worked out? So definitely before the next DaemonClaw update video, probably by sometime next week, all of the print stuff for the deluxe add-ons for DaemonClaw will actually be sent to the printers and are in their hands for them to print and actually mail back to me. So that's exciting. And then finally on the Neo Geo side, as I've said, sadly, like, just keep testing. We get a new build roughly once a week. They tell me roughly what they were working on, like in this case most recently level 3, and there were probably, I forget how many, but there were a lot, somewhere around 20 tickets. And I confirmed that maybe 12 of them were fixed, but there's still some that aren't fixed yet, or maybe they thought they fixed but still aren't quite right, that kind of thing. And I definitely found one bug. You know, we can't just try to confirm things that we already know that were fixed. Every time we get a new build, we have to test the heck out of it to make sure that no new thing is introduced, or that there's not a game-breaking bug that gets through the cracks and then you guys end up with a Neo Geo game that's less stable and less fun than it should be. So we just keep working on that. Progress is being made. I should update that website with the progress report. I haven't updated that lately, but it's kind of tricky because, like I said, some things will get fixed and then you'll discover new things, but I could definitely update it to some degree. So in the description, in the text of the update, I'll link to that again to remind you guys where to look to see where we stand roughly. But at this point, artwork's done, gameplay design is done, sound, music, everything is like 98% all there and working. It's just test and confirm if it's fixed or not. You know, every week a big batch of progress with a new build to test. So we're just going to keep doing that until a build or two where we just can't find any other issues to fix. I think that's pretty much it. I think Corey and I discussed earlier, we've just been meeting a lot and working independently also on wrapping up the all the pages for the art book, the text. Just yesterday, all 3 of us, including my brother Chris, we kind of proofread and finalized the text for, I think at this point, that's like 90, maybe 98% of all the pages text is now finalized. So that's a really big thing. Like, pretty much the last thing we need at this point is the table of contents and the
making sure all
the
the page numbering is correct, table of contents, getting the cover in the right format. So.
Yep. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, the conversation I'm starting today with the printing company that's going to be doing the book. I need to verify with them the exact format they need, everything given to them, so it all gets printed well and that all the pages are in the right order. That's the critical thing that can actually be trickier than you might think. So we're going to make sure all of that is 100% confirmed, nailed down in exactly the format that they need. That's it for this DaemonClaw update video, and we'll be back again soon with another.
If you enjoy our content and want to keep up to date on our games, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you want to support our projects, consider becoming a patron. The link's in the description, and we'll see you soon.